So we are starting the 2024 PYQs. So the first question is, which one of the following is prominently component of the cell wall in fungi? So first is cellulose, option 2 is chitin, option 3 is peptidoglycan, option 4 is hemicellulose. So here the answer is chitin. Why? Because fungi cell wall are composed of chitin, that is a tough polysaccharide that are made from the unit of N-acetyl-glucosamine, the cellulose that is found in the plant, peptidoglycan in the bacteria, and hemicellulose that is found in the plant cell wall. Moving on to the next question, in a joint producing of oxygenic photosynthesis, which one of the following organism pigment system is active? Option 1 cyanobacteria, option 2 rhodospirillum, option 3 the chlorobium, and option 4 is chromomatium. So here the cyanobacteria is the correct answer because it is the joint that produces the oxygenic photosynthesis. Cyanobacteria perform oxygenic photosynthesis using both PS1 and PS2. So PS1 and PS2 both are used here. They split the water molecule to release the oxygen, and to other list option, they are Anoxygenic photosynthetic bacteria. We can see the other option. They are chlorobium, chromatium and rhodospirillum. What are they? They are Anoxygenic photosynthetic bacteria. Now moving on to the next question, formation of the transformation of zone or Cork cambium during the secondary growth occurs by the activity of option 1 vascular cambium, option 2 Phellogen, option 3 vascular cambium, vesicular cambium, and option 4 is intravesicular cambium. So the formation of transformation zone of the Cork cambium, that is during the secondary growth, that occurs by the activity of Phylogen. Phylogen is another name for the Cork cambium. So it is a meristematic tissue that develops in the cork region during the secondary growth that produces the cork outward and phylloderm, that is secondary cork inward. Given below are two statements, one is labeled as assertion and the other is labeled as the reason. So we have to tell whether the assertion and reason, they are both are true or both are false, or both are A is the true but R is not the correct explanation of A, whereas both A and R are true, or R is and the correct explanation of A, both are correct or not. So here the amino synthesis for the 6 determination is banned in India, and it is frequently misused for the female ferticide. So here both A and R are true. The option R is correct, explaining the A. To curb the declining child sex ratio due to rampant female feticide, the government banned the paternal use of amniocentesis for the gender determination under PCPNDT Act. Here we have to match the following hominids with the correct brain capacities. So here the Homo habilis, Homo neanderthalis, Homo erectus and Homo sapien, these are the given option in column 1, and column 2 is telling about the brain capacity of that particular human, like is it Homo habilis or Homo neanderthalis, etc. So here the correct option here is Homo habilis have a brain capacity of 650 to 800 cc, here capacity of brain. So here 1A is 3, so there is only one option that is showing A is 3, so we directly get the answer 1. According to the evolution data, Homo habilis has a capacity of 650 to 800, whereas Homo erectus was around 900, Neanderthal man was 1400, and the modern human Homo sapien is 1350, that is 1350 cc. So here we can see the list 1 and list 2. So here the auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin and ethylene, these are the plant hormone, and list 2 is fruit ripening, apical dominance, floating and root growth initiation. So we have to tell auxin is responsible for which of the following. Like gibberellin is used in promoting the bolting in rosette plants, cytokinin delay the senescence and promote cell division. Like auxin, it is responsible for the apical dominance. So here A is 2. Here there are two options that are showing A is 2, that is 1 and 2. So let's see. B is 3 here, that is gibberellin is matching with the bolting, and C, that is cytokinin, that is responsible in delaying senescence. C is matching with root growth initiation, yes, and ethylene is responsible in the fruit ripening. AD is matching with 1. So here option 1 is correct. Next question is, which one of the following statement is not correct about the anatomy of Dicotyledonous root? So here the first option is the innermost layer of the cortex is called the endodermis. The second option is the conjunctive tissue is made up of parenchymatous cell which lie between the xylem and phloem, and the third option is the xylem vessel are arranged in an Endark manner, and fourth option is the pith is smaller or inconspicuous. So here the correct answer is the xylem vessel. The xylem vessel, they are arranged in an Endark manner in a root, both dicot and monocot. The arrangement of the primary xylem is exarch, that is the protoxium, it is facing toward the periphery, whereas the metaxylem, it is toward the center. So Endark arrangement is characteristic features of the stem. Here we have seen there are two statements given. We have to tell if both the statements are true or false. So here the primary CO2 acceptor in C4 plant is PEP, and it is found in the mesophyll cell. Statement 1, whereas statement 2, it is telling about the mesophyll cell of the C4 plant lack the Rubisco enzyme. So we have to tell does it lack or not. So here both the statements are true. We can see this in C4 plant, the primary CO2 acceptor in C4 plant is the PEP, and it is found in the mesophyll cell. PEP means phosphoenol pyruvate, that is PEP. Then statement 2 is the mesophyll cell of the C4 plant lack the Rubisco enzyme. Yes, it is true. Moving on to the next question. Standard genotypic ratio of the Mendelian dihybrid cross in F2 generation is 1:2:2:4:1:2:1:2:1. So this is the ratio. So while the phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1 in a Mendelian F2 generation dihybrid cross. So here the correct answer, they are asking genotypic ratio. If the question was about the phenotypic ratio, the answer would be 9:3:3:1. But here the question is about the genotypic ratio. So the correct answer here is 1:2:2:4:1:2:1:2:1. This pattern. We have to match the following features with the respective animal phyla. So here the list one is flame cell, containing the flame cell 1, A, B is complete, C is radula, D is choanocyte. Now we know that choanocyte is matching with the list 2 in phylum Porifera. So D is pairing with 3. So we can see two options that are showing D is 3, that is option A1 and option 2 that have D is pairing with the 3. Now let's see other options. Flame cell, it is matching with the Platyhelminthes. So here flame cell, they are excretory structure in Platyhelminthes. Complete, here we can see complete. What it is it's matching with? It is the Ctenophora. Now choanocyte will be matching with the Porifera. Here the second is the flame cell. Here the flame cell, it is matching, it is a excretory structure in Platyhelminthes, and completes, they are the locomotory structure in the Ctenophores, whereas radula, it is a respiring organ in Mollusca. So here the choanocyte, they are the choanocyte are the collocells that are lying in the spongiocele in the Porifera. So this is the answer. Now moving on to the next question. Next question is, which of the following part of the human brain is primarily responsible for regulation of the body temperature? So the correct answer for this is the hypothalamus, not cerebellum, cerebrum or medulla oblongata, because hypothalamus, it functions as a body thermostat. It contains a center for controlling the body temperature or for eating and drinking. Next question is, in human being, the sex of the child is determined by the father, not by the mother. This is an assertion, and reasoning is human males are heterogametic, producing two types of sperm, one with X chromosome and another with Y chromosome. Here we can see the option A and the R, that is reason and the assertion, both are true. So here, and R is the correct explanation of A. So here this option, the first one, is correct option. Now moving on to the next question. Why it is correct? Because female produce only one type of ovum, that is 22 plus X chromosome. Here male produces 50% X bearing sperm, whereas 50% Y bearing sperm. So thus the fusion of the sperm type determine the genetic sex validity for both the statements. Here the question is, which one of the following plants show the heterophilous development phase due to the environment? Option A cotton, option B coriander, option C buttercup, and option D larkspur. So here the buttercup is the correct answer, because the heterophyly that was during the environment seen in the ranunculus buttercup, where the leaves form in the air and water, show different shape, like in cotton, coriander, and larkspur, it showed developmental heterophyly. Next question is, which of the role of enzyme? The role of the enzyme DNA ligase during the replication, that is option A breaking hydrogen bond between complementary base pair, option B joining the discontinuous synthesized Okazaki fragment, option C adding the nucleotide to grow the RNA primer strand, or unwinding of the double helical structure of DNA at the origin. So here the correct answer is joining the discontinuously synthesized Okazaki fragment. Why? DNA ligase, it seals the nick in the sugar phosphate backbone by creating a phosphodiester bond linking the Okazaki fragment on the lagging strand. Next question is, in the plant tissue culture experiment, high auxin to cytokinin ratio will favor the development of option A root only, option B shoot only, option C callus, and option D both root and shoot equally. So here the root only is the answer. In tissue culture, a high auxin to cytokinin ratio promote rhizogenesis, root differentiation, while at high cytokinin to auxin ratio, it promote the shoot differentiation. Next question, we have to identify the structural feature that prevent the backflow of water in the xylem element. So that is lignified cell wall. Lignified cell wall provides structural rigidity to withstand the negative hydrostatic tension created by the transpiration pool and preventing the collapse of the vesicles. Next question is the process of conversion of atmospheric nitrogen N2 to ammonia, that is NH3, by a living organism. What is it called? The biological nitrogen fixation. So here the option C is correct, biological nitrogen fixation, that is conversion of the atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia by a microbe like rhizobium or azotobacteria in terms of biological nitrogen fixation. Next question is, which hormone is primarily responsible for contraction of the uterine muscle during the childbirth? That is the oxytocin, which is responsible, that is secreted by the posterior pituitary and act as a vigorous only the uterine myometrium to cause the labor contraction. The type of epithelial tissue present in the inner lining of the fallopian tube of a bronchioles is. It is a ciliated epithelium. Here option C is correct. Ciliated epithelium possesses a fine hair-like projections that move the particle of the mucus or in a specific direction over the tissue surface. Next question is, which one of the following is an autoimmune disorder and affect the neuromuscular junction leading to the fatigue or paralysis? So that is the option 1 muscular dystrophy, option 2 Mesenteria gravis. So mesenteria gravis is an autoimmune condition where the antibodies destroy the acetylcholine receptor that are the neuromuscular junction that are present at the neuromuscular junction, and the muscular dystrophy, it is a genetic disorder. So here the option B is correct. Next question is intrinsic factor essential for the absorption of the vitamin B12. It is secreted by which of the cell in the gastric glands? So we have to tell the cell that are parietal cell that secrete the HCl, and the castral intrinsic factor. What is this castral intrinsic factor? Which is vital for absorbing the vitamin B12 in the ileum. So here the option C is correct, that is Oxygenic cell. Next question is museum collections typically include which one of the following preserved items? So here all of the above, like insect specimen, large animal species, skeletons of an animal. Taxonomic museum preserve the insect in the boxes after collection, killing and pinning, and large animal are stuffed and preserved, and the skeletons are often displayed for study. So here the question is which one of the following statement is not true regarding the process of translation in prokaryotes, protein synthesis. So here the ribosomal enzyme peptidase catalyze the formation of peptide bond. So this is the answer. Why? During the translation, the formation of the peptide bond formation between the amino acid in a it is catalyzed by the peptidyl transferase, which is ribosome, a component of a large ribosomal subunit like 23S RNA in a bacteria, and not by an independent protein enzyme like the peptidase. Now here the second option is correct in 12th question. In monocot seed, the coleoptile is a protective sheet covering the young shoot apex, that is plumule, while the coleorhiza, it protects the young root cap, that is radicle, and the scutellum is the largest single cotyledon, and the epiblast, it represents the reduced scale like remnants of the second cotyledon. Here in question number 13, here the correct option is here we have to identify the physiological process that is directly accelerated by the spraying of gibberellin hormone solution onto a mature sugarcane crop. The shortening, option A is shortening the nodule distance to make the stalk thicker. Option B is overcoming apical dominance to increase the lateral branching. Option C is increasing the length of the stem to maximizing the sugar yield. So here the correct answer is increasing the length of the stem to maximize the sugar yield. Now why? Let's know. Option 3, sugarcane stores carbohydrate as sugar and its stem. Spraying the crop with gibberellin increase the length of the internode, increasing the stem length and boosting the sugar yield, but up to 20 tons per acre. Given below are the two statements regarding the process of photorespiration C2 cycle. So we have to tell the statement 1. In photorespiration there is no synthesis of ATP or NADPH. Yes. And statement 2, the process of photorespiration result in the release of the CO2 with the utilization of ATP. So here both the statement 1 and 2 are correct. Now let's see why they are correct. So option 1 is correct answer here. Here correct option is 1. Here the photorespiration is a wasteful process. Unlike normal photosynthesis, it does not build the sugar or produce ATP or NADPH. Instead, it expand energy ATP to salvage the carbon compound and release the carbon dioxide. So here in an ecosystem, the rate of production of organic matter during the photosynthesis by producer, it is known as option 1 net primary productivity, option 2 gross primary productivity, option 3 secondary productivity, or option 4 net primary productivity. We have to tell the answer. Next is the correct option is 2, gross primary productivity. It is the total rate at which the ecosystem captures and store chemical energy as an organic matter. Net primary productivity is equal to gross primary productivity minus the R, that is respiratory rate, energy used by the plants for the respiration. So here tell me which one of the following condition is a genetic or X-linked recessive disorder characterized by the defect in the clotting factor leading to the prolonged bleeding. Option 1, sickle cell anemia. Option 2, thalassemia. Option 3, phenylketonuria. Or option 4, hemophilia. So here the correct answer is hemophilia. Let's see why. With the hemophilia, it is a sex-linked recessive disorder where sickle cell anemia, thalassemia and phenylketonuria, they are also autosomal recessive conditions. Here we have to match the types of WBCs with the primary function like eosinophil, basophil, neutrophils and lymphocytes. And the second option here, the column 2 as secrete histamine, serotonin and heparin. Second option is phagocytotic cell that destroy the foreign organism, and third is form 20 to 25% of total WBCs and immune response, whereas the D, that is 4, here the resistance infections are associated with the allergic reactions. So here the correct option for this is here eosinophil is matching with the resistance infection and they are associated with allergic reaction, whereas basophil, it is associated with the secreting the histamine, serotonin and heparin, and C, that is neutrophil, that is associated with the phagocytotic cell that destroy the foreign organism, and lymphocyte, it is forming the 20 to 25% of the total WBC and immune response. So here the correct option is 1. Here the correct answer is option 1, where eosinophils are associated with the allergic response. Here allergic response like a basophil secrete inflammatory mediators like histamine and heparin, and neutrophil, they are active phagocytes cells, and lymphocytes are the key component of adaptive immunity. Next here in this question the correct answer is 1, why juxtamedullary nephron. The juxtamedullary nephron extend deep into the inner renal medulla while their elongated loops of Henle. This deep extension is necessary to establish the high osmotic gradient required by the countercurrent system to conserve water and excrete the concentrated urine.